Here you go.
We're good.
Everybody's mic on? No, no.
Why is David Paul calling? Seriously.
Out back?
Okay, no one knew.
It was open before.
Well, they locked it. Who do you think locked it? Of course they did.
I checked your. You did?
Yeah.
Was Ted still here when you came in?
We're stalled. Something went wrong. Refresh or try again later. Really? Really, Pete?
Maybe that's
I'm sure that is why. That woman is mean. Now it is. Very slow. Oopsie. Okay. Just one.
That was one thing.
I do.
Okay, we're running late already, but my apologies for the door being locked. Sorry about that.
Beautiful day.
With that, we might as well call the meeting to order. If we could all please stand for the pledge of the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well. Approval of our meeting minutes from the October 21st board meeting. Any comments, any discussion at all about the October 21 board meeting minutes? Can we get a motion and a second to approve those minutes? Motion by Bauer, second by Christ. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. The October 30th public hearing minutes. Any discussion about that?
Cindy, I thank you for
You're
updating it.
Yeah.
I had her change it to $357,000 that's been put into reserve for the equipment in the budget. So we have documentation of it. Following the budget.
The money's there, it just doesn't show according to our accountants. So it is there though. Anything else? Okay, get a motion and a second to approve the October 30th public hearing minutes. Motion by Chris, second by Christopher. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Town clerk.
October receipts totaled $1,298, with $305.52 going to the general fund. I sent copies of the adopted budget to the county legislature, to Downey Allen of real property, and rural development wanted a copy of. So they got it. Mooring re-levies have been sent to Office of Real Property. There were no water re-levies. for the tax bills. And a copy of the 2023 audit was sent to Maggie at Municipal Solutions, so she can file it on Emma, which means electronic municipal market.
Okay.
That's all I have.
Our assessor's not here tonight, so I will skip that. Highway and Water, Dirk is not here tonight either, so I'll move it right along. Code enforcement, planning and zoning, there were 1 building permit issued in the month, 1 fire inspection, 14 overall inspections, 1 certificate of occupancy, 3 certificate of compliances issued, and 4 violations. We are reviewing the subdivision and sign regulation code with the planning board. I do believe they had a recent meeting about the sign, and it seems like we're in a consensus regarding the sign portion of the code. But next month they're going to be reviewing the subdivision as well, and that's going to be December 3rd at 6 p.m. right here. Zoning Board of Appeals, no hearing was held for the month of November. Planning Board, there was a workshop again held on November 12th. For the review of the sign and subdivision ordinance sent by Code Enforcement Officer to the Planning Board. Sign ordinance recommendation will be sent to the Town Board for review. The Board is still looking at the subdivision regulations. The Orleans County Planning Board has canceled its regular October meeting due to insufficient items on the agenda for action. County Legislator, Mr. Fitzek.
Sorry, I wanted to make a mention of the training hours for zoning and planning board members are required to have 4 hours a year, and all the planning board members have either met or exceeded the 4 hours. But the zoning board, there's 3 members who do not have any hours. One has 1 hour. So by the end of December, we really need to make sure that they get
No, fine with that. Anything else on that end of things? John? Thank you. Any public comments as it pertains to resolution or agenda items? If you could please take this microphone just so that anybody that's watching live can hear.
Well, this is the 3rd year I've been coming here concerning the water. And Jerry, I appreciate everything you've done for the water. My concern is the ARPA funds run out December. Okay. With all the stuff that you've done, even though we put it in, there's no guarantee that any of us are going to get water. Okay, we've had the water tested. You know that some of these people's water has E. coli in there. We have people who have problematic, immune systems, and they're bathing and drinking E. coli water. There's been nothing that says, hey, nothing publicly, nothing written down saying, hey, the water's bad, don't drink it, or what have you. Not everybody has it, but you've got people with compromised immune systems. Okay, that also opens you up to liability. So if people are doing this and you haven't said anything about it or done anything about it, when you have the money, the ARPA funds that were specifically prioritized for water, sewage, and broadband, and you're not using those, that's problematic. Okay. We need water. I implore you, please, before those funds run out, instead of worrying about a ceiling, instead of worrying about a parking lot, I've even heard tell something about buying some stupid buffalo statue out there. People's health and safety come first. We are all neighbors, regardless of political party, regardless of anything. We are neighbors. We are taxpayers. All of you got water. We didn't get the water. I've been fighting for 3 years. I appreciate that it's going, that there's a grant out there. But I also know that grant, that ARPA fund that was specifically earmarked Albion just used theirs to bring down water to the people down there, and yet we still don't have water 3 years later. And we're hoping this grant goes through. But there's no guarantee this grant's going to go through. We might be February, March, whatever. We might be in the same boat we are now because they could say, nope, chose somebody else. And you know darn well that we have problematic water. And you know darn well that at least my family were there and we signed it and you all got water and we didn't. So I implore you to please use the ARPA funds for what they were used for, what they were meant for, and prioritize people's health and safety over needful things. So thank you.
Thanks, Stacy. Just to kind of clarify some things regarding that, I was told after making some phone calls about the ARPA funds that whatever ARPA funds would be used for the project would be deleted from the cost of the project. So it was no sum gain on using ARPA funds. That was coming from our engineer. I have been kind of dealing with MRB, our engineer. They actually called USDA ahead of time to pose the scenario that we're looking at right now with the 6 homes on Heinsberg and West Brockville. And they wanted to make sure that when we filled out the grant application that we were going to be not guaranteed, but there was a really good chance of us getting the grant. Nothing's a guarantee. While we do have ARPA funds, but again, it was my understanding that using those ARPA funds, what we used towards the grant was going to be taken away in funds, so it was no benefit to using the ARPA funds. Well, the other problem is that the scope of this project costs way more than what the ARPA funds would actually fund. We're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars for this project, not $250,000. We're talking about a lot more than that. So my thought was, let's go for the grant. USDA, based on, again, median home income, would pay up to 75% of this. And then the rest would be incurred by the people that are hooked up to the water through their bond repayment. So that's the plan. I mean, the grant application is if it hasn't been sent already, it's all ready to go. Most of the paperwork we've satisfied with the grant, and I have full expectation it's going to be awarded to us. It's not 100% guaranteed, but from a cost standpoint, I think we're saving more money on the town's behalf by going for the grant than spending the money through the ARPA, which isn't going to pay for the entire project. I don't know how much money they were awarded. I'm sure that they were probably awarded more based on certain things. I'm not sure, John, if you know anything about that or not, but I could only surmise. No, I know. And as far as notification of bad water, I made it a point myself to call everybody and let them know the results of their water. And if they did have E. coli in it, don't drink it and find an. I can't speed up this process any more than I have right now. I can't make it happen immediately. I've gone through the process of going through our engineer, applying for this grant. I have been told that, again, they ran the scenario through the USDA saying, here it is. Is this something that's likely to be awarded? And they said, yes, it's likely to be awarded. That's all I got right now. Well, again, I've been working on this since the beginning of the year, diligently. As you know, I was the one that went out and did all the water sampling. I try to keep everybody in the loop as to what's going on as much as I possibly can. I just have to work through the process of this grant application. I have to, follow it through. And again, I have all expectation it's going to be awarded. But the ARPA fund situation, it wasn't going to pay for this project, even with our guys doing the work. It wasn't even going to come close. So I don't know what to tell you about that. I apologize, but I'm trying to work through this grant process and make sure that you guys get what you need. And I can't make it happen any faster than that. Sorry. Well, the hydrant, I don't remember that. The hydrants has been a kind of a bone of contention only because of the cost of them, but I think we've kind of worked that situation out. But again, we're talking 6 houses over a long stretch of road. It's expensive between the materials and the labor and everything else. I think we did the best we could by applying for this grant, which again is supposed to pay for 3/4 of this entire project. The ARPA money wasn't going to pay for this project. It might have paid for a portion of it, but it certainly wasn't going to come anywhere near as much as what this USDA grant is going to pay for. We've got about $250,000 left. 300 and some thousand. Some of that was spent before I even became into office. All I can deal with. No, I know. And, before the beginning of this year, I was a board member and I could vote on things, but nothing was getting done. That's not what's going on right now. And all I can say is just be patient and let the process work. Yep. I don't know how long this grant application and the award period lasts. My expectation is something's going to happen next year. I don't think it's going to be anything in the next couple of months. Obviously, we're running into weather situations. Our highway crew guys are going to be doing installation themselves, so my expectation is it's going to be something that happens next year. Yeah, that grant goes from October 1 to September 30th, so it's not January to December. So we had submitted this grant application right after the 1st of October. So, all I can do right now is continue to call our representative at the engineering firm MRB to kind of see where we are in this whole grant process. Maybe they can give me some insight. I'm sure that they're going to let me know as soon as possible if and when this grant is awarded, but I wouldn't have gone through all of this work without an expectation that we were going to have water there. That's why I had them contact USDA to say, hey, is this project actually worth it or not? If they felt like it wasn't, then they would have told us that, and we wouldn't have even pursued the grant. But they indicated to our engineer that, yes, this was something that they are confident is going to fly. So that's what I'm going with. I can't disagree with anything that you're saying, and all I can tell you is I've done absolutely everything in my power to make this happen, and I have to be patient and let this process work its way through. And I can't give you anything more than I cannot have this happen next week or next month. I got to let this process work itself out and see what happens. And believe me, the day I call you, Stacy, and tell you you got water, we're going to get this grant, will be the happiest day of my career here at the town. Believe me. Believe me. You know, what are you guys doing right now as far as your water? I know that your house didn't have E. coli, but Irene's did. I did call Irene and left her a message. I know this has been a continual problem for you guys down there. That's kind of why we're doing all these things that we're doing now to get you guys whole. That's all I can say right now. Washing clothes and that kind of a thing shouldn't be an issue with respect to the potability side of things. Obviously, drinking water, consuming water, brushing your teeth, or whatever for cooking or baking, yeah, you should boil water if you've had E. coli in it for sure. But you know, all I can tell you is I'm working as hard as I can to get this thing, but there's things out of my control, and I know that doesn't make it feel any better for you guys, but I don't know. I mean, I could certainly make calls and keep you guys up to date as I've been doing here this year, but I don't know that there's anything that's going to speed this process up. I hate to be the bearer of bad news on that, but I'm just waiting for them to go through this grant application period, and again, hopefully this is going to be awarded to the town, and I'll have good news for you. But right now, I've done everything I possibly can do to make this right for you guys. And on all I can do, and I know it's hard, just try to be patient on this and stick with it. Hopefully we'll have this rectified for you. My apologies. I know it probably doesn't make you feel any better about it, but we're heading in the right direction is all I can say. Well, again, all I can do is reiterate to you that, well, to that point, I know it doesn't make you feel any better, but not everybody in our town has public water. There are houses that don't have public water and they're on private wells. Yeah, and I can't go back when this petition was signed years and years ago under a different administration. I can't go back in time on that. I know that the stories about that, but all I can do is work from here and move forward. There isn't a plan B right now. I'm relying on the fact that this grant's going to get awarded. We wouldn't have done all the work that we did if we didn't think it was going to fly. That's all I can say. Anything else? Okay. Going on to new business. Regarding Water District number 17 project, we have a resolution for the authorization of placement of lateral restrictions within water improvement benefit area. The following resolution was adopted by the town of Murray on Monday, November 18th, 2024. Whereas the town of Murray board, herein referred to as the town board, is seeking to create Water District number 17 for the express purpose of providing public water to supply residents along portions of West Brockville Road and parts of Heinsberg Road within the town of Murray. And whereas the part of the land area within Water System Improvement Project area is located within the Orleans County Agricultural District number 1. And whereas the town board has filed a notice of intent to undertake an action within an agricultural district and to evaluate the impact of providing a source of public water supply within this area of lands within Orleans County Agricultural District number 1. And whereas the New York State Department of Agriculture and Markets has expressed concern about potential adverse impact and said public water supply is likely to have on agricultural uses within the agricultural districts. And now, therefore, be it resolved that the town board of the town of Murray, Orleans County, New York, as follows. The town board is in recognition of the concerns that have been raised, hereby resolves to limit connections to the public water supply only to existing non-farm uses and to farm-related uses within Water District number 17, which is also located within Orleans County Agricultural District number 1. This resolution shall take effect November 18th, 2024. Can I get a motion and a second to adopt this resolution? Motion by Bauer, second by Christ. All in favor? Aye. We need a roll call on that.
Yeah, Berg, Bauer, Christopher, Reitmeyer.
Yep. Okay. We needed to do that just for explanation to make sure that we're doing all the proper paperwork on Water District number 17. So. They just want to make sure that residents are actually taking advantage of this. Okay, that's really what that's about. But that had to be done as part of the whole process of having this water district formed and adopted. Our second resolution under new business is regarding a reappointing of Terry Penrod to the Board of Assessment Review. Resolved that the town board of the town of Murray reappoints Terry Penrod to a 5-year term on the town of Murray Board of Assessment Review. Mr. Penrod's term began 10/1 of 2024 and will expire 9/30 of 2029. Can I get a motion and a second to approve that? Motion by Berg, second by Christopher. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Third on new business is the approval of the ambulance contract. Whereas municipalities of Albion, Barry, Gaines, Carlton, Murray, Clarendon, and Kendall are all in need of ambulance services, and whereas the aforesaid municipalities have engaged in negotiations and dialogue with Mercy Flight Inc. DBA Mercy Flight EMS, hereinafter referred to as Mercy, resulting in a proposed written contract agreement, and whereas the town of Murray believes that the best interests of the health, safety, and welfare of Murraytown residents would be best served by entering into the proposed contract agreement. And whereas the proposed contract agreement is a Type 2 action, not subject to review under the State Environmental Quality Review Act. Now therefore be it resolved, Section 1, the Murraytown Board does hereby approve the contract agreement with Mercy, the term of which commences January 1, 2025 and ends December 31, 2027. Section 2, the Murraytown Board does authorize Murraytown Supervisor Gerald Reitmeyer to execute the proposed contract agreement. Section 3, the above described authorization and approval is conditioned upon similar authorization and approval by all municipalities listed herein above, as well as Mercy. Section 4, this resolution shall take effect immediately upon being put to a roll call vote. The vote was as follows.
Berg. Bauer. Christopher. Reitmeyer.
Yes. The resolution was thereupon adopted. Okay. Next on new business was a accepting of the resignation of Dennis Mandigo as a Deputy Highway Superintendent effective 11/14/2024. At a regular meeting of the Town Board of the Town of Murray held on November 18th of this year, the following resolution was moved, seconded, and adopted by the affirmative vote of a majority of the board. The Town Board of the Town of Murray accepts the resignation of Dennis Mandigo as Deputy Highway Superintendent effective November 14th, 2024. Motion regarding that. Motion by Bauer, second by Christopher. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Last on our list of resolutions is the approving recommendation of Highway Superintendent to appoint Todd Knight as Deputy Highway Superintendent effective 11/14/2024. At a regular meeting of the Town Board of the Town of Murray held on November 18th, 2024, the following resolution was moved, seconded, and adopted by the affirmative vote of a majority of the board. On the recommendation of Highway Superintendent Dirk Lamas, Todd Knight is hereby appointed Deputy Highway Superintendent effective November 14th, 2024. Can I get a motion and a second regarding that? Motion by Christ, second by Bauer. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Any old business that anybody wants to discuss?
We have something in the new business.
Okay.
We've been talking about, the health insurance the employees in the town have, and I have some information I'll pass out. Taking a look at new hires, and changing, not for existing employees, but for any full-time new hire, to take a look at the current, not changing the plan, they currently pay 15% of the premium, and changing it to 20% for any new hire. And that would, the cost of health insurance for the town for next year is $112,000, and it increases every year. I think it was 7.9% this year. Previous years it continues to go up. And I guess I wanted to see what the board's thoughts were in regards to looking at changing the premium for new hire only from 15 to 20.
No, I think it's definitely something we need to consider.
The second scenario I have on here is to look at their health savings allowance. And that actually, I think, they currently get for a single policy of $1,650 a year, or for family and employee and spouse, etc., is $3,300. If we reduce that, the savings aren't as great for the town, and I think actually that would be a little more difficult for an employee to handle, because then it doesn't match their deductible. I think by changing the premium, it's effective weekly. Their cost would go up slightly. And, I don't know whether anybody's thoughts are on the for a single policy. Well, it's not the difference. That's how much an employee would pay. A single, right, is $34 a week. There's a 20% contribution to the single policy. Oh, the town savings. My only concern is we're looking at some new hires, so to take advantage of it would be something to look at maybe prior to a new hire.
Yeah.
For
$15, I believe.
it's hard to compare because different plans have different. This is a good plan.
It's an excellent plan.
Very good.
Both plans extremely good. And again, we're not talking about affecting current employees. We're really looking at new hires. It's tough. Absolutely.
They
This
have
is
great healthcare.
very-
20% isn't a lot to ask. Anyway.
very good healthcare compared to. If this, but this is excellent plan. And we're not changing the plan. Yeah.
Well, and I, as someone who pays, yeah, but as someone who pays for healthcare, the 15%, it's nothing compared to what other people pay. So if it goes up to 20, even if I don't think that's a lot. The town can't keep taking the raises and not somehow getting some money back. That's right.
But I would suggest that maybe we take it behind doors or a workshop, because I got a lot to say, and you might not like what I have here to say. What I've had to say. Yeah.
Well,
Because I think you're going down, but I think we're going down the wrong road, talking a lot about it here. If we want to talk about it here, I can bring up a lot of things that I'm dealing with in the highway department to fulfill the positions that we need, and then we want to cut more and just make it even harder to replace people. And while we're on the topic, the very people that take care of the roads, take care of the water, you want to cut and take away from them. And how can you save money by taking care of the people that are working and making things function in the town?
Again, we're not talking about cutting anybody that's working here right now.
I know, but I'm talking about replacement. I'm talking to people to interview and I listen to them. Now I have to interview more people, and I don't have as much to offer them. Those are going to be your future, the people that are taking care of the roads, taking care of the water, unless you want to just get rid of the water, but they still have to plow the road. And it's obvious to me that a lot of people don't appreciate or understand what the guys have to go through being available 365 days a year, 24/7. They get called away from birthdays, they get called away from anniversaries, holidays, and all that stuff. Yep, it's part of their job. But we cut on the backs of the people that are providing for the taxpayers.
We're not cutting. Matter of fact, please, I need to say this. A matter of fact, the raises that were requested, they got. We
Correct.
Also met the health insurance deductible, which
Correct.
we didn't have to do,
Correct.
but we felt like it was the right thing. But at some point in time, you cannot just keep giving and giving and giving and giving. There has to be some sort of compromise.
So because things go up, inflation goes up. No. I'm speaking, please. Because things keep going up. We want to cut from the people that are going to do the work. The cost of things are going up, and then to reel in the cost, instead of being realistic and telling people the truth of why it's going up, we go to the working people and cut. And you say you're not taking away, but you're going to take away from the future. There is no future. You can't find volunteers for fire departments. Pretty soon, you're not going to find people to work on the highway. Now we're going to call an executive session.
Thank you. Anything else on new business? Any old business? Yes. If you don't mind just using the microphone, and just people can't hear when we're live streaming this stuff. Just use that.
Okay, from what I understand, Chad Fabry is leaving at the end of the year. So if we're going to get a new code enforcement, just a suggestion, maybe the planning board should wait till that person comes on board and then start with a subdivision law like what we're working on now, because it doesn't do any good if Chad Fabry's not here and then you got the planning board trying to make something up. I think they should wait till the new code enforcement gets here.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine. I can't disagree with that. I think that if we are going to have a new code enforcement officer here, then we can start fresh and get input from that person and go forward. You know, the only thing is that some of these projects like the solar law, the subdivision law, have been dangling for many, many months, if not years. We really haven't seen much headway in it. So it seems to be kind of a push to get things done, but I can't disagree. I'm all for having a new code enforcement officer.
Maybe the town board can make a decision and let the planning board know.
Okay. Yep. Anything else? Public comments? Nothing? I'll make a motion to pay bills and approve the supervisor's financial report. Motion by Chris. Second by Bauer. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. We'll make a motion to adjourn. Motion by Bauer. Second by Christopher. All in favor? Aye. Thank you very much. You know, man.